you find any inspiration in this, we have done, and you have done your noble part.
El Maestro Speaks podcast.
And we are recording. Welcome once again to another episode of El Maestro Speaks podcast. Before we move on, this podcast is brought to you by Millennial Tech. Right now, the name is Cyspace Tech, located at Tabatan, Bugues, Benguet. If you're having problems with your phone, you can go there and they will fix it for you. With your laptops also and other electrical gadgets, you can bring it to Millennial Tech or Sakpa's Tech. Also, this podcast is brought to you by CarlTech, located at La Trinidad. This is the shop I go to every time I have problems with my gadgets, laptops, and cell phones, tablets, and the likes. You can go to CarlTech. They're located at the old public market of La Trinidad, Benguet. And they also have a new place near the Balwug Center at KM5 La Trinidad, Benguet. Also, we have Dems Auto Performance located at Alapang La Trinidad, Benguet for those who wants to modify their cars to for off-road competitions. You can go to Dems Auto Performance. Those are having problems with their cars. They can bring it there. That Dems Auto Performance located at Alapang, La Trinidad, Benguet. Also, my podcast is also supported by these two um business establishment at Moncayan. We have the SciTech. They do software reformatting for computers. And of course, we have the MONAPHLORE's egg poultry. They sell eggs and rabbits and ducks. Okay, thanks so much for sponsoring my podcast. And now we move on, and we will be talking today about Igorots, my tribe, and okay, uh, a history of the Igorots in the Madrid Exposition in 1887. So one time, last time, I think we talked about the exposition, or I mean, the St. Louis Fair of 1904, wherein Igorot's tribe from Suyok, Mankayan, Benguet got so very popular because of one thing. Okay, aside from the culture, of course, they're half naked, and the culture, and mostly they became very popular because they were known as the dog eater, right? There was this one anecdote, one story of a woman who went to the fair in St. Louis with her dog, and then so she went around the fair, going to see the exhibits there, including the exhibits for the Igorots. Now, she went home. When she was about to go home, she noticed that her dog's not with her anymore. So she lost her dog. And then um, she thought that the dog just went home alone. And so she went home. Now, when she went home, she found out that the dog's not there. So she went back to the fair and they started looking for that dog. And accordingly, they found the dog on the Igorots area and was already butchered with the head already in a boiling pot of water. So it's already cooked. So those are one of the stories of the St. Louis Fair. And just another um, unfortunate event there at the St. Louis Fair is that one woman named, I forget the name, but I shared this actually, and I talked about this on my podcast before. Oh, Maura. Maura, the name is Maura. The woman is named Maura. She came with the other groups of Igorot from Suyok, Mankayan, Benguet to be displayed, right? And she died, and her brain was taken out from her body to be examined by the Smithsonian Museum. And there was this woman um, who I saw in Instagram trying or campaigning for the remaining part of her to be returned home and to be buried in her hometown. So that's about the, dark history of the Igorots. Now, one of the reason I want to um talk about these things here is that we know so few about these stories. Yeah, they are dark stories. They are, you know, it's demeaning to know that uh, our forefathers has been looked down as subhuman back in the day. And but then it's very important for us to know about these things so it won't be repeated again, in a sense that we have to take pride of our roots, and we have to work hard to, you know um we have to work hard to contribute in showing the world that we are as good as any person with a white skin, you know. So it's one of the purpose here. And it is really surprising, like what I said before, what a man can do when they think that they are better than any other human in the world. Say, um, when they think that because their skin is white, or I mean, they think that they can use machines, they can create things, they have uh, their civilization is industrialized. When they think that they can do that and other group of human can't, they would really think that they're better than them. And that's a very dangerous kind of mindset, thinking that you are better than any other group of human, because it makes you do things that are so inhumane, like what happened here, right? And uh, the thing that we can learn from this is we should never look down on another group, or other human for that matter. Okay, regardless of the skin, it's a cliche already in this kind of time, in this time of you know modern technology and the likes. It's already a cliche to say that we are all the same, but sometimes I don't know. The technology is like it's evolving, but of the way of thinking, or our way of thinking, I think is devolving. Just look at what's happening with the case of Hamas and Israel right now, wherein anti-Semitism is growing exponentially. That even people are not ashamed anymore of being anti-Semitic in social media. So, like I said, um, technology is evolving, but I think our mentalities are devolving. Our moralities are devolving, and one way to slow that, I mean, to stop that, is like looking back into history and learning from it, so we won't be repeating the worst things that happened in the past. Now, one of the worst things that happened in the past, involving my tribe, the Igorot tribe, is the Madrid Exposition of 1887. Now, few of us maybe, or few of us may know, because I don't think this is being discussed, or this is being taught in the schools of our country, of the Philippines. But few few of us might know that Jose Rizal, our national hero, knows about the Igorots. Perhaps he knows them more than other people in this era. I mean, some some Filipinos don't even know what Igorots look like. Some Filipinos nowadays don't even know what Igorots look like. They may think that we are still living in a nipa hut and that we are still wearing bahag. Yeah, we wear bahag on special occasions, but not all the time. We are being described as a dark-skinned person. No, I'm not saying that the dark-skinned person is not. There are. Uh, what I'm trying to say here is it. That's not a general description of the Igorot. Though some of us have dark skin, I have dark skin. So you know, and like I said, you have dark skin, you have white skin. Doesn't really matter. But we accordingly, generally, we have curly hair. Um, Basically, they're describing a different tribe, and those tribes are also good good tribes that came here in the Philippines. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that Jose Rizal knows more about Igorots than some of the Filipinos nowadays. Okay, now why is that? Um, there was this correspondence of there's this letter that Rizal wrote to Ferdinand Blumentritt. Now, Ferdinand Blumentritt is an Austrian teacher, I guess, if my memory serves me right. Um, he is a teacher, and he and Jose Rizal are like pals. And in our language, I don't know if this is an international language. In Filipino English language, they are pen pals. Is that an American English too? I don't know. Well, their pen pals means they're friends and they write each other. That and for those who are listening, who were born in the early 2000s, um, back in the day, they don't have internet, they don't have telephones, so the way they um communicate with each other is through letters. And we have what they're calling this pen pal, which means you are friends through writing, through pen. And Jose Rizal has an Austrian pen pal, and his name is Ferdinand Blumentritt. And they like each other because, both of them are intellectuals. So, um, Jose Rizal, the Madrid exposition, when Jose Rizal was in Madrid, in Spain, there was this thing they call the Madrid Exposition in 1887. Take note, that's 1887. Uh, St. Louis Fair is in 1904. That was during the time of American occupation here in our country. But the Madrid Exposition is in 1987. It was named Exposición de las Islas Filipinas. I don't know if my pronunciation for Spanish is good, is correct. I mean, but that was the exposition. Okay. So Cerizal was touring in Europe in 1887 when Spain still was ruled when the Spain still ruled the Philippines. Now, this article was written by Freda Changat of Ang Bagong Filipino. This is part of the thing I saw while researching for this um, topic for this episode. And he was infuriated about the news that a group of Igorots was brought to to Madrid for Exposición de las Islas Filipinas. Now we don't know. It was not clear uh, where what kind of tribe are these Igorots? Maybe are they from? We do not know if they are from. Uh, I mean, Kalinga or from Abra or from. I mean, from Benguet or from mountain province. Nobody can tell. Okay, but it's clear that they were brought to Madrid and they were held in the city's zoological garden. Again, in the city's zoological garden. Yeah. So again, they're treated like subhuman. That's very sad. For many years, he had worked towards the Philippine Exposition in Madrid, which would attract Spain's attention to products and handicrafts of the Philippines. So there was Rizal was in uh, you know has been working to for a Philippine exposition in Spain, but what he wants to be exhibited there are the products from the Philippines. Now take note that during that time Philippines was still ruled by Spanish. It's like we are considered as a province of Spain, or yeah, not exactly, but we are part of Spain. Okay, but then when the exposition happened, they were exhibiting persons. Okay, uh, it says here. He thinks he's been working hard for exposition of products in the Philippines, but not exposition of person. So the lazy inhabitants of Madrid might amuse themselves through this display of our country folk as curiosity. So he disapproved of that. Like, so he voiced out his frustrations and is really infuriated with what happened. Contemporary Spanish reacted in the same way as many Americans in Seattle did 2 decades later. So it's good that some Spanish, contemporary Spanish, as they call it, um, reacted. That this is reacted negatively on this matter. Okay. On his letter to Ferdinand Blumentritt, he said, I have worked hard against this degradation of my fellow Filipinos that they should not be exhibited among the animals and plants. But I was helpless. One woman has just died of pneumonia, and the newspaper El Resumen has made a smutty wisecrack about it. And La Correspondencia de España even says the Filipino colony in Madrid is enjoying the most perfect health up to the present. No more than 2 or 3 have fallen ill of colds and bronchitis. I need hardly comment on this. I would rather that they all got sick and died so they would suffer no more. Let the Philippines forget that persons have been treated like this, to be exhibited and ridiculed. Now, this is a translation, but I would like to point this out. Jose Rizal said that the Igorots are his fellow Filipinos. Like decades later, somebody would claim that Igorots are not Filipinos. Now, just to highlight the greatness of Rizal in thinking, yeah, he just called the Igorots his fellow Filipinos. Okay, just want to point that out there. And he voiced out his frustrations in this letter. This was the first Igorot show. Okay, so um, I thought that the 1904 St. Louis Fair was the first exhibition of Igorots um, in history, but actually there is an earlier exhibition, and that was in Madrid, and this was the first, accordingly, and it was condemned by none other than our national hero, Jose Rizal. Okay, But his persuasion had no more effect than many American voices, including Teddy Roosevelt's, that protested Igorot shows. There was money to be made and a prejudiced public to be pandered to. So, like what I said a while back, when you think that you're better than other human, you can, and then you're a businessman, okay, or you are, I mean, attracted with the glittery gold that can be produced, or glittery richness that can be produced by exhibiting other fellow human being, then you would not. You would do that in a heartbeat. You would exhibit other people in a heartbeat, you know? And that is really dangerous if we keep on devolving, okay? And I don't know, we would end up, treating each other inhumanely. Okay? The Philippine colonial government did not succeed in banning Igorot shows until 1914, just in time to countermine American entrepreneurs' plan of a major Igorot village at San Francisco's 1915 Panama Pacific Exposition. So the exhibition of Igorots started in 1887 until 1914, and it just I'm just amazed to I don't know, maybe it's because of lack of research materials that we can use, but this one is not being discussed in history. This is still, regardless of how inhumane it is still a history and should be discussed nonetheless. But since it's not being written in the textbooks, then we do it here through our podcast to discuss that we were being exhibited before, and we were treated as subhuman by other race, and um now in this generation we should work hard to show the world that um our culture is unique, the uniqueness of our culture, okay, and the values that we have, that we the human values, that is distinctly Igorot, and we can show that to the world now, and we can also show that we are in some ways better than them, right? The reference where I got this one is from the Jose Rizal Ferdinand Blumentritt correspondence, okay, from November 22, 1886, exhibition of the Igorot, 1887, Rizal's scholarly activities in Europe. Okay, so those are some of the things, um, some of the articles where I got this source from. Okay, so there are some people also talking about this in the realms of social media, and they're sharing it to the world. One is the Jana Anonymous, I guess that's the name of the Instagram. You can follow her. Um, she is, I think, a writer, and she's been campaigning for I mean, she's been working hard to immortalize also the memories of those victims of this inhumane act during those olden times. And she's been working hard really to um return for so that the body, I mean the brain of Mora from Soyuk Malkayan will be returned to Mankayan. Those are um those are some of the people who are helping the Igorot tribe. Okay? And with the proliferation of social media nowadays, we thank people like we have the popular vlogger here in the locality of Benguet, FDJ Stages. Has been working to create contents about Igorots, and he's also a historian, so he can, I mean, tell you a lot of the histories of Igorots. And we also have other vloggers who are creating contents, making proud of our Igorot culture. Those are ways on showing the world that Igorots are as good as any other human in the world can be, you know. And I just like to share this one with you so we can remember the plights of our forefathers. You know, that's so heavy. And again, perhaps in one episode we'll be talking about um the achievements of our of the Igorots, although we had been already been talking about that. And one of the greatest achievement is the the doctrine. The Carino doctrine is um it's the benchmark of the indigenous peoples law, wherein some other countries like Australia, New Zealand base their laws from. Okay, uh, Carino filed a case of a claim of his land in Baguio City, and he filed a case in the American Court of Law, and he won. He won that case of and I don't know. I forget the particulars of this one, though I already discussed this one in my previous podcast, the Carino Doctrine. Those are one of the many Igorot achievements that they contributed in the world. I guess that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening to Maestro Speaks podcast. Again, this podcast was made possible by Millennial Tech, located at Abatan, Mankayan, Benguet, CarlTech at La Trinidad, and Alapang, Dems Auto Performance. We also have Cyspace Tech and MONAPHLORE's POULTRY at Mankayan, Benguet. Once again, this is El Maestro, and we'll be seeing you in another episode.